How's it going, students? Flange here for our last section of the prerequisite chapter on linear equations in two variables. Here's a little outline of the chapter from the book there. First off, what is slope? I like to use M for slope. Slope is rise over the run. This is the basic idea, and you can use this to incorporate it into a formula. Get the formula by looking also as change in y over change in x. That's a little delta symbol, means change in. So you can look at it as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's slope. And so if I go over 2 and up 3, that's a slope of 3 halves. So again, that formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now if you have the points, -3, -2, and 5, 1, doesn't matter which one you call x1 and y1 as long as you're consistent. So I'm going to call this x1, y1, and this x2, y2. So I plug it in the formula and I get 1 minus 2 over 5 minus 3 ends up being 3/8. 3/8 is a shallow slope. And we can check this by looking at a picture. And let's see if this slope makes sense. Another picture. -3, 2. So -3, -2, and 5, 1. Yeah, that looks like a shallow slope. It's a positive slope. Sometimes a quick picture can check to make sure you didn't do something, a little arithmetic mistake along the way. Now, some special cases of slope. A zero slope, that's a horizontal line. Because you basically have going from a point like 3, 1 to 6, 1. Change in y is 0, change in x is 3, so 0 over 3 is 0. So that's a zero slope. Undefined slope is a vertical line. You see undefined slopes and vertical lines. Because when you start trying to put these in the formula, here you are at 4, 3, and 4, 1. You can see the change in y over the change in x is going to give you 3 minus 1 over 4 minus 4, which is 2 over 0, and that is undefined. Slope does not exist. 6 forms for the lines. First, the much maligned standard form ax plus by equals c. It's easy enough to find the intercepts from here like we did the other day. You can also derive the formula negative a over b if you want to find the slope. Some kids prefer point slope form because it has the slope right in it. There's your slope. And x1 is a point, x1, y1 is a point on the line. Any point on the line. We talked about m before being slope. Slope intercept, y equals mx plus b. Very handy form because it only has two constants in it. Slope, as we talked about before, and b is the y-intercept, where you cross the y-axis. A couple other special forms, intercept form, sometimes called double intercept form. X over little a plus y over little b equals 1. It's called that because these are basically your two intercepts. If x is 0, you get y equals b. If y is 0, you get x equals a. So if you know the two intercepts, you can quickly write the equation by going to intercept form. A horizontal line is y equals a constant. As we said before, the slope equals 0. A vertical line is x equals a constant. As we said before, the slope will be undefined. In fact, when you think of the point 2, 3, it's the intersection of these two ideas. X equals 2 and y equals 3. Here's your x and y. X equals 2 is a vertical line. Y equals 3 is a horizontal line. And where they intersect is the point that we call 2, 3. Okay. Consider two lines, line 1 and line 2. If line 1 is parallel to line 2, then what's true about their slopes? Well, they have to be equal. Slope 1 equals slope 2. And if line 1 is perpendicular to line 2, then the slopes have to be negative reciprocals. And that's a fancy way for just saying slope 1 times slope 2 is negative 1. Or you can say one slope is the negative reciprocal of the other slope. Slope 1 equals negative 1 over slope 2. Let's practice. We're going to give you some information. We're going to try and write the equations in line. Now, just a little warning. WebAssign will sometimes specify a very particular form. And in fact, they really like, sometimes on standard form, it written like ax plus by plus c equals 0. So keep that in mind. They may insist on that over the ax plus by equals c. So if ax plus by equals c isn't working for you, it might be because they want that one on the other side. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do it in the form that WebAssign says the final answer has to be in. You can pick the most efficient way for you to do a problem and then change it over algebraically. Through the points 2, 5, and 6, 13. Well, we've got to get the slope. 13 minus 5 over 6 minus 2. And you get 8/4, which is 2. And then we just go to point slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, a lot of you at this point want to do y equals mx plus b, but bear with me here. Y minus, we just have to call it the points. 2, 5, 6, 13. I can put in either point. I can put in 2, 5. Y minus 5 equals 2 times x minus 2. And you are done. That is a valid answer. Now, like I was saying, if WebAssign is looking for a particular form, you can rearrange it algebraically. It should still work. Y minus 5 equals 2x minus 4. Y equals 2x plus 1. So I'd accept that too for an answer. You can also write it as 2x minus y plus 1 equals 0. There's the standard form answer. Okay? Generally, on my chapter test, I'll accept any except the forms we talk about, unless I say otherwise. Now, parallel to 3x minus 7y equals 19, but passing through 2, 1. Well, we can get the slope from this. The slope is negative a over b when it's in standard form. So you get negative 3 over negative 7, or 3/7. And then you just go to your handy dandy point slope. Y minus 1 equals 3/7 times x minus 2. There, that's fine, unless you want to change the form around. And let's practice that a little more. Multiply both sides by 7 to get rid of the fraction. Then maybe distribute 7y minus 7 equals 3x minus 6. So let's get everything on this side. 3x minus 7y and 7 plus 1 equals 0. Or 3x minus 7y equals negative 1. This is sometimes thought of as standard form, or you can go like this. See, now that's why standard form is much maligned. We could have just easily done this by just taking the original equation, 3x minus 7y equals 19, and said we want a parallel line to this. Well, that means a and b will stay the same. We'll just change the 19. Put 2, 1 in. 3 times 2 minus 7 times 1. So then you get 3 times 2 minus 7 times 1. And you get 6 minus 7 is negative 1. Well, that's your answer. 3x minus 7y equals negative 1. That's how sometimes when you do parallel line problems, standard form can be a big help, and you can be very efficient with it. Flange out.